Welcome to the essential comic book stories you need to read before you die. And guess what? Superman for All Seasons is one of those stories. Superman for All Seasons is one of the finest stories that I have ever had the pleasure of reading. For those that don't have much knowledge on who Superman is or what makes him so appealing and or are looking for a starting point to experience this iconic character, Superman for All Seasons is a great place to start. Written by Jeff Loeb and illustrated by Tim Sale, this graphic novel is considered a must-read and a quintessential Superman story, and that's because it's that damn good. Loeb masterfully tells a story of the last son of Krypton and his origins from his small town in Kansas. Both the writing and art beautifully weave a metaphor for coming of age and finding one's place in the world. And for a hero as iconic as Superman, it's a story of humanism and knowing where one comes from while at the same time focusing on hope and just trying to honor one's cultural upbringing and trying to build something for a better future. If you find Superman old-fashioned and too goody two-shoes, then this might not be the story for you. His interactions with his loved ones are sweet, and it's a book that will make you feel warm, grateful, and hopeful. This is the Superman story that does real justice and service to the character. It's a testament to his greatness. Tony Stark is such a cool character. I mean, he makes robot suits, and that's fucking wicked. I've read a couple of great Iron Man stories, and some that were whatever, but I think that everyone should totally read Warren Ellis's Iron Man Extremis. I saw it in stores as a trade paperback, and the cover just looked really cool. And sometimes you can judge a book by its cover, because I experienced a unique Iron Man story, and where his whole status quo is challenged, and he needs to take charge and prevail. Besides being a good story, it's good sci-fi. The idea of terrifying technologies and man's role in an ever-evolving world that becomes more foreign because of this technology, it's just great. It's on the level of some Orwellian or Singularity conspiracy, or one of those episodes on Black Mirror. But besides that, the story is largely character-driven, and Tony Stark once again shows exactly why he is one of the most compelling characters on the Marvel roster. Furthermore, if nothing else, the art is just fucking gorgeous. Thank you, Adi Granov. This is a great read. DC's New 52 event ushered in a lot of new ideas to old concepts, and though many agree that the event was lackluster and that it butchered certain continuity, I believe that it still produced some wonderful stories, where reinvention and trying new things actually worked. One of those concepts or stories I argue is essential reading is David Finch's Forever Evil event. Spinning relentlessly out of DC's Trinity War storyline, which wasn't that good, Forever Evil is a fun, wicked, and interesting event where our heroes are left helpless, villains from a parallel universe, the awesome crime syndicate as you can see them here, show up and take over, and the world's only hope is Lex Luthor and his assortment of DC villains. Fucking bring in Bizarro. The event feels high stakes, especially with certain characters taken out, and the crime syndicate themselves are exciting and a great parallel to their Justice League counterparts. I mean, for the casual reader, it's fun, it's fast, and it's excellently exciting. And for fans of DC, there are a bountiful amount of great moments. Ultraman basically punching everything in his way, Superwoman and Owlman, the reveal of a major player at the end, Batman and Catwoman trying to work together with Luthor and the villains. Everything about Bizarro and Lex, god damn it, the feels that I felt. And the electric chemistry between Sinestro and Black Adam, which cracked me up. This was just a fun event that threw lots of punches and made me laugh a couple of times. It can be a little convoluted with all the characters, but it's worth reading. It's a good punch to the stomach in a good way. Marvel's Civil War event might not seem as poignant as it once was, especially today with the oversaturation of heroes fighting heroes narrative driving so many plots in comic stories, but there's still no mistaking that Mark Millar's Civil War is important and a pretty powerful read. Morality in the face of a changing political landscape at an epic scope. This story really makes the reader ask what it really means to be a hero. For those of you that enjoyed the action and drama of the film adaptation, Captain America Civil War, which was phenomenal, and have not read the actual story that inspired it, do yourselves a favor, check it out. The art alone makes the visual storytelling quite pleasurable. The lines and colors blend so smoothly and really enhance the story tenfold. The actual plot is also quite good because of the character-driven motivations and emotions that move the plot forward. It builds and builds and builds until your favorite heroes literally want to just smash each other to pieces. There are so many memorable moments with these characters that it's difficult not to be fully invested in the story arc. There's a reason people really look at this as a great Marvel story. This story has it all. The characterization of Tony Stark, the plot elements with Spider-Man, and the chaotic fight scenes with Captain America. I mean, this comic gave me a greater appreciation for Cap. I mean, he stuck to his guns. Overall, this is a phenomenal read, and even though it's really hyped in, like the message boards and anywhere else you go on the internet, it really is worth reading. It's fantastic. And then we have Blackest Night. And Blackest Night is one of those stories that I have read many times now. And it was the first big crossover event story that I read for DC. I've read it at least once every 6 or 7 months, and every time I reread it and re-experience it, I find little nuggets of information I didn't first catch. And that makes such a rewarding read. When I first checked it out at the public library, the cover looked cool. I mean, it's a black cover with zombie heroes and villains, and a tough-looking Hal Jordan ready to fight them all. I mean, to the casual reader, it looks pretty rad. That's why it got my attention. And I was a casual reader. I had limited knowledge of the Justice League and DC Universe when I first read it, and it was still great. It was action-packed, beautifully penciled and colored. It was shocking, gross, intense. I thought I was going to read a non-stop action story, which I got, but it hooked me in and made me want to know more about these characters, like Mera and Ray Palmer, and these Black Lantern monstrosities. The Green Lantern mythos became that much more cool in my eyes. And so as I read some more, reading it again after I had expanded my knowledge of DC characters, my appreciation for the detail and stories associated with each deceased character had more gravity and a greater payoff at the end. Scenes with the recently returned Barry Allen and Hal discussing the mortality of heroes and how death comes for everyone, including the Capes, was great storytelling. This will always be one of my favorite stories because it shows that a comic can both be fun and exciting while delving into deeper concepts of loss and death, not to the level of Brad Meltzer's superb Identity Crisis. I'll get to that, but it's a fucking blast of a read. If anything else, please check this out. If anything, I mean, this is one of my top 10, hands down.